Some fathers leave behind photographs, some leave behind memories, and some leave behind an entire way of seeing the world. For Uma Thurman, Robert Thurman was more than a father. He was a teacher, a guide, a scholar whose ideas reached across generations and whose influence extended far beyond the walls of any classroom. And now, following his passing at the age of 84, people around the world are reflecting not only on what he accomplished, but on the remarkable legacy he leaves behind. The news of Robert Thurman's passing has prompted an outpouring of tributes from scholars, students, spiritual leaders, and admirers who spent decades learning from his writings and teachings. Known as one of the most influential interpreters of Tibetan Buddhism in the Western world, he devoted his life to building bridges between cultures, philosophies, and communities. For many people, Robert Thurman was an academic giant. For Uma Thurman, he was simply Dad. Throughout her life and career, Uma often spoke about growing up in an environment filled with curiosity, learning, and meaningful conversation. Long before she became one of Hollywood's most recognizable actresses, she was the daughter of a man whose passion for knowledge shaped every aspect of family life. Friends of the family have often described Robert as someone who could speak about profound philosophical ideas while still making people feel comfortable and understood. That gift became one of the defining characteristics of his career. Whether he was teaching students, writing books, or participating in public discussions, he had a way of making complex subjects feel deeply human. As news of his passing spread, many people revisited old interviews, lectures, and conversations featuring Robert Thurman. Viewers shared clips online, remembering his warmth, humor, and ability to communicate wisdom without losing his sense of humanity. His story was unlike almost anyone else's. After studying at Harvard, Robert embarked on a spiritual journey that eventually led him to India, where he became deeply immersed in Buddhist studies. He later became the first American ordained as a Tibetan Buddhist monk, developing a lifelong friendship with the Dalai Lama and dedicating decades to preserving and promoting Tibetan culture and philosophy. His work helped introduce countless Western readers and students to teachings that might otherwise have remained inaccessible. Through books, lectures, translations, and educational programs, he built a legacy that extended across continents. But despite international recognition, those who knew him personally often describe something much simpler. They remember his generosity. They remember his curiosity. They remember his ability to make every conversation feel important. As tributes continue to emerge, many have reflected on the extraordinary balance Robert Thurman maintained throughout his life. He was simultaneously a respected scholar and a devoted family man. He moved comfortably between universities, cultural institutions, and family gatherings, bringing the same enthusiasm and attentiveness wherever he went. For Uma Thurman, that example became part of her own foundation. Over the years, she occasionally shared insights into her upbringing, describing a childhood surrounded by ideas, creativity, and intellectual exploration. While her career ultimately took her into a completely different field, the influence of her father remained visible in the thoughtful way she approached life and public conversations. Many admirers have noted that Robert's greatest achievement may not have been a single book, lecture, or academic position. Instead, it was his ability to inspire others to think differently about compassion, understanding, and human connection. Across social media, thousands of messages have appeared from former students and readers who credit Robert Thurman with changing their lives. Some discovered his work during difficult periods and found comfort in his teachings. Others encountered his books in classrooms and went on to pursue their own studies of philosophy, religion, and culture. These personal stories have become an important part of his legacy. They remind us that influence is not always measured by awards or titles. Sometimes it is measured by the lives touched along the way. and by that standard, Robert Thurman's impact was enormous. As family, friends, and admirers continue to remember him, the focus remains not on sorrow alone but on gratitude. Gratitude for a life spent teaching. Gratitude for the knowledge he shared. Gratitude for the countless conversations, books, lectures, and moments of encouragement that helped shape generations of students and readers. His passing marks the end of an extraordinary chapter, but the ideas he championed continue to live on through the institutions he helped build, the books he wrote, and the people he inspired. And perhaps that is the most fitting tribute of all. Because while a voice may eventually fall silent, the wisdom it shared can continue speaking for years to come. Robert Thurman leaves behind a remarkable legacy of learning, compassion, and understanding. And as people around the world continue to reflect on his life, one truth remains clear. His teachings will continue to guide countless people for generations to come. Rest in peace, Robert Thurman. Thank you for watching.